Hey, it's Christopher here. I don't like to do many of these cancery videos. There was about half a year between my last two. But last week, one of my friends died. She was about probably halfway through her life. And that's just made me think, damn, I really don't want to die myself. I mean, it looks like I'm going to, but I need to do whatever I can to prolong my life. So that's why I'm here right now, asking for your help. I'm not going to lie, I'm asking for donations, but my main reason for this is also asking you to share this video or the link below, which is a GoFundMe one. If you can share it all over your social media, any way you can, don't spam people, but this is the main reason for me speaking to you right now. I just want to get it shared as much as possible. So for those of you unaware, a quick recap. Early last year I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer that spread to my liver. Spent about 6 months in hospital, and I've spent about over a year having chemotherapy. Including in that time I had a huge operation to have a tumour removed, which was bigger than 4 fists, and I wasn't expected to survive the op, but somehow through the skill of the NHS I did. And the chemo that they've put me on, unpleasant, but it was working. Unfortunately, last month I was told that it stopped working, which yeah, great news. So what they've suggested is alternate methods. We've got a type of chemo which attacks the cancer from a different perspective. I've had 2 sessions of that so far, and it's pretty brutal. And also we're on clinical trials. That's how desperate things are. The clinical trials are going to be in London. I live in Bournemouth, so that's an expensive train journey. And also me having to probably stay in a hotel overnight, because train to London, walking around London, having whatever they're going to do to me, and then getting a train back to Bournemouth, it's not realistic, when just going into a supermarket for 15 minutes leaves me completely knocked out for the rest of the day and feeling useless. I'd probably faint or end up in hospital if I did that. So I'm going to need to fund trips to London, staying in a cheap hotel overnight, as well as the unfortunate news that this chemo that I'm on, the one I've already had 2 of, it costs over £320 per session. So that's £640 a month, and I've been told that that's probably going to go up. Initially I was quoted at £500 a session. And it just ended up not being so. That's what I think it's probably going to go to. Now, even before all this happened, I was struggling to make it to the end of the month. I was losing money every month because, I'm not making anything. Before I got ill, coronavirus was obviously a thing for a while, and I was part-time then, which ate into my savings. And then obviously coming up to 2 years of this with no income, completely finished them off. Now, I wasn't doing badly before. I had enough for a good house deposit, or enough to emigrate somewhere and have a good life, but that's all gone now, unfortunately, and I'm running every month at a loss. When my good friend Alex heard about this, he very generously set up a GoFundMe, along with 2 of my other close mates, Mark and Lewis, which I was not expecting. And yeah, it's amazing. I've already had crazy amounts of donations, and I just feel like having this out there, it would be crazy for me to not ask people to share it as much as possible. So again, I don't expect donations from anyone. That's if I do get it, I'll be very, very pleased, but that's not what I'm here for. It's the sharing. I would rather 10 people gave me £1 each than one person gave me £10, because honestly, I know what it's like out there, especially here in England right now. It's worse than anywhere. So if you're on low income, if you're on benefits, if you're struggling yourself, please don't donate. If you're in a country where a lot to you means little here after conversion, please don't donate. But please do share this as much as possible. I would really appreciate it. I'm not someone that ever asks for or really needs help. I'm very independent. Since I've been ill, my mum and Rormic have really helped me out. A few other people have as well, but I think they'd rather remain anonymous, but predominantly the first two. And yeah, I'm so grateful. And I struggle to accept this kind of thing, but this feels like I have to ask. Let me just establish how this is not the kind of thing that I do. For example, I've usually helped people out. I've paid for my girlfriends to exist in the past. I looked after my sister for a decade. I've helped people out. I prefer to use my money rather than take money from others. But I'm in a situation where I don't have a choice right now. I think one thing that I really want to emphasize is how I normally like to treat people the way I like to be treated. As an example, I used to be a fairly successful Twitch streamer. Now the culture of Twitch is begging is fine. So be it a big or small Twitch channel, you'll hear people begging for subscribers, which gets you money, donations, bits, which gets you money, and I never felt comfortable doing that, even though it's the done thing on that platform. And I never made people that didn't give me any money feel bad about it. When I was a teenager, my family who I lived with moved to France, and my best mate Joel, his mum took me in and looked after me. Didn't want anything in return. So ever since then, I'd be lying if I said I'd been a wonderful person, but I've been a good person. I've not taken advantage of anyone or anything like that. So I did always want to give back in the way that she did to me. Regardless of who you are, you don't expect cancer in your 30s. What I did expect was to be married and living with my gorgeous girlfriend in America right now, but you don't get what you expect. With cancer, all I expected was my body and my mind to fall apart. Not my career, not my finances. I didn't expect my sister and her husband to completely blank me for no reason when I was at my most ill and never explain why. And I never expected to be asking for donations. But here we are. Thanks for listening. Take care.